Welcome, Tim Barch here, Long McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. We are live here. It is we have June 14th here. In fact, it is build date and eve. So tomorrow is on the Lightning. My Lightning is supposed to be getting built is tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Expedition is still somewhere out there in the transport universe. Ford has not updated me at all since it was released, so I have no idea where it's at. But we are getting things moving. So just to welcome everybody in here, including our loyal members in there. You can see their names with the Long McArthur logo beside them. So I do want to thank my members for being in the live stream with me tonight. And thank you for that. And if you something you want to do, if you want to become a member of the live stream, you can do that. Any of my videos, you can find the information about being a member. It's going to be right down there by the subscribe button. So in this case, the subscribe button is red. Yours might be grayed out, but if you see that join down there, click on that, get a little more information about the different membership perks. $5 a month. Feel free. You do not have to do this whatsoever. I just throw that out there. It's just my way of getting connected to the people that want to learn a little bit more about me and the backgrounds of the dealership and in general as well. So I think you guys will enjoy that, and a couple other added perks there as well. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, though, hit that red subscribe button down below so you can get subscribed over to the channel. Hit the notification bell. That way you get notified when we go live. Like hopefully you did get, most of you got notified here recently when we went live tonight. Also, we are going to be recording this as an audio format and cast it out to all the different podcast apps. So we're on 15 different podcast apps. Podbean is where we host it from, but you can find it on Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, iHeart, all those are there. Even Apple, you can find it out there on the Apple Podcasts too. Pandora, I got all those set up recently, so we're good to go there. Plus, you can find it on our website as well. The link to that is down in the description, longmcarthur.com/Long McArthur. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, maybe it's recorded. Of course, it will be delayed because I will post that tonight. If you want to watch this with us live, don't forget the link to the live stream that you can, or our YouTube channel is down in the description as well, so you can always check and join us live. If you have any questions, you see the links down below. fordvideoguy@gmail.com if you have any questions. If you're wanting to get a vehicle from us, timothybarts@gmail.com. That's the differences on those. You'll see looks a little different down there in the right hand corner, bottom corner, down there, Linktree. /Ford Video Guy. That's where you can find all my social media links in one place instead of having a bunch of them there all over different places. Go there. If you are aware of that, just go to that website and you can find all the different social media links you can find me on right there in one place. So I thought that was kind of cool. I set that up this week, so you have that down there too. So in about 26 minutes, we're going to get to our topic of the day: dealer waiting lists, dealer pre-orders. How will my order be processed by Ford? So there's a lot of differing opinions. Dealers are telling some people one thing and not another. Some people think they can pre-order now, or they can. I've seen out there posts where people's like, "Yep, put my order in, got my deposit." And so we're going to talk a little bit about what actually happens here at the topic 30 minutes into the hour. And then I got a fun "Is It True" for later as well. And then I just more or less, it's more of me venting, making sure you guys get all the incentives and rebates that you deserve from when you ordered your vehicle. Recent videos, do not have any recent videos. We do have Sarah, my assistant, has been out. She'll be back next week though, part-time, so she'll be back helping me out, get some videos out there. We will have I'll have a video probably tomorrow on the Bronco Sport Badlands complete guide video. And it's probably going to be the format that I'll be continuing to do my complete guide videos from here on out, because as we get more order guides that come out, that's the format I'll use, just like I did with the Maverick when it was released. Doing it right here in front of the computer with hopefully some screenshots and some B-roll that you guys can check out. So that'll be the format, because when these order guides start coming out on the new model launches for 23 model year, we're going to be kicking out videos like crazy on those. So we'll be doing, what's new for the year, what's changed for each model year, as well as a breakdown from each of the trims. So we'll be doing those videos and getting those out as quickly as possible for you. Now, one thing I am trying to get information on is right now we have not seen the order guide yet for 23 Expedition. Supposedly that order bank opens up tomorrow, but we still have not seen an order guide. So I feel like every time there's a new launch, I'm trying to figure out, is that the way Maverick is going to be? Will we not find out until the 15th how we can order these vehicles? Because really, we'll talk about it later in the live stream, until we get those, really we don't know how we can order vehicles. So hopefully we'll find out more information about that as we hopefully tomorrow when those open up. We will be on Facebook Live Thursday night, 6 p.m. Link is down in the description. You can check that out there. Don't forget to mark your calendars. Only 2 months away. August 13th, we're doing a Maverick event here in Salina, Kansas at Lakewood Park. Do not have to sign up or anything. Just come on. We'll be helped you. Members, of course, we'll talk about members exclusive event Friday night for any members that are coming to the event as well, that are members of the YouTube channel. So we'll get together and do something Friday night, but it'll be a fun time. Also, I like to make sure I always have this down there because I feel like Johnny and I kind of support each other. You can find Johnny Car Care and Reviews, his link to his videos down in the description. And just so you know, usually Tuesday night he has a video that goes live. It's really cool to kind of watch his video and then come on over to ours and check that out. Now, the gift. Giving away. So we did a giveaway. We talked about it last week. Everybody needed to email to the fordvideoguy at Gmail. So that is closed right now. In fact, I already picked a winner. So I did the random.com and took that out. There were 18 people that entered the giveaway. And the winner is actually one of our viewers that has a Bronco with us. Of course, there's many people that did that are viewers, and some of them have Broncos, but Steve Lucero is the winner of the giveaway. So I will be sending that, mailing that to him. He actually has a Bronco that should be any time, so maybe he just wants us to install that for him, which we can do that for him. So we'll email him and back and forth and let him know that. But so congratulations to him. And you know what? I kind of enjoyed this giveaway. So maybe next week I'll find something else we can do, some accessory that we can give away for somebody else. So I think it was a lot of fun. So all right, scheduling for this week. Let's get into that. So there are a few model lineups that are scheduling and a couple that have changed from Fridays, because I noticed on a lot of the different forums out there, they'll post, hey, here's what scheduling is going to be for next week for that model lineup. And things do change from Friday to the next week. So Bronco, Escape, Expedition, Maverick, Mustang, Ranger, and Transit orders will not be scheduling this week. Yes, I said Bronco, Escape, Expedition, Maverick, Mustang, Ranger, and Transit orders will not be scheduling. So here's the vehicles that will be scheduling this week. The Bronco Sport will be scheduling limited retail only, so no stock allocations. We do have one Bronco Sport that is previewing. We have one allocation is all we have for the Bronco Sport. On the Edge, there'll be limited retail scheduling as well. So Edge, let's see how many, do we have allocations on Edge? Yeah, we have 2 allocations for Edge, but I don't think any of our Edges are previewing, which is a little concerning. So it looks like they have certain lines, certain models and trims that they're looking to pull. Evidently, we don't have any retail orders under the different trims that they're looking for, so that's why we're not scheduling. The Explorer has limited retail scheduling as well. And I think I did see we have 1 allocation. What's with all these low allocation numbers? And we have, I think, 1 previewing, and I think it's a King Ranch order. Yeah, it's a King Ranch order. So that's one of the models and trims they're looking for. Mach-E has limited retail scheduling as well. I don't think we have any allocations for Mach-E. We have 1 allocation for Mach-E. That's good. And let's see here. Do we have any previewing? We have none. We have nothing previewing for Mach-E. F-150 we also is scheduling this week, which is a good one. We have like 70 allocations, 74 allocations actually this month. So that is great to see for F-150. And let's see what we have previewing. I think we had about 6 previewing for this week. So we'll see some of those. Yeah, 6 previewing this week. And a variety, 2 Raptors. We have a couple Lariats and such. So, and then on Super Duty, we have 17 allocations, and we have, I think we have 12 previewing today for Super Duty, which is crazy to see. Oop, that's Ranger. Super Duty. And there we go. So we have 12 previewing, a lot of different trims. Looks like Lariat, some 613As. I think that's XLT, so we got some XLTs and such previewing. So, and then also Transit Connect Van and Wagon is also going to be previewing as well, or should be scheduling this week as well. And on the Lincoln side, we have Aviator non-plug-in with limited retailing and Nautilus limited retailing. And to be honest, I don't think we have any allocations for either one of those. So. All right. Well, thanks for your review. Yep, you got a couple members there that have posted in there and comments. So, yes, thank you very much. All right. And let's see, Lincoln Aviator. Go to all. We do have some Aviators previewing. Okay. We do have 4 Aviators previewing, and we have 4 Aviator allocations. And Nautilus, we have 1 allocation. And how many are previewing? Ooh, probably 1. And we have 1 previewing. So yeah, that's actually a stock one because we don't have, evidently we do not have any Maverick retail orders in our system. We do have a couple. For some reason they're being overlooked. Oh, they're unscheduled. We have, we don't have any unscheduled. So that's why we're getting a stock allocation. So that's how that happens sometimes. So there you go. There are the models that are our scheduling this week. Just for you, a little information. Also, some dealer news updates for this week. The Bronco Sport, the Explorer, Edge order banks are closing Thursday. So if you thought about putting in for the 22 model year, and don't forget you can get $1,000 order rebate as well as lock in 0% for 60 or 66 if you take a flex buy on the Explorer and Edge. And there's $1,000 on Bronco Sport. So if you want to lock in those rebates and incentives, you need to order by Thursday, so you can have that in. You'll have till the next week to get the COVP paperwork in, but the order banks will close on Thursday. So get those orders in if you thought about doing that. By the way, 23 model year Mustang order banks will open September 19th, same day as the Escape. So they have announced that information. I got that from, not from Ford, but I got that from Ford Authority. So. All right, so a couple questions I'll answer real quick before we get into the is it true, and there's a couple other things that I wanted to cover as well, but I don't want these questions to go unanswered here. Thanks also to Ridgeview and to Rob for being members. Thank you. I love the live stream. I appreciate that. Paul had a question. I have a 6-month-old order for an F-250 Lariat and was able to get the dealer to move me to priority 10. Is that change really going to make a difference in my chance of getting scheduled? What that'll do is it's a priority system. So if all the other orders at the dealership are 19 and yours is a 10, they're always going to look at your order first. And unless you have some constraints, they'll try to schedule yours before they'll schedule the 19s. That same purpose when people, the dealer can't go below 10, but the region can take an order down to 2, and it's because they want to kind of focus in on the older order, so they'll pull those down to 2. So that's usually how that works. Jason also had a question here. It says the production numbers for F-150 were huge. However, the Super Duty were low. Correct. Do you think that might swap next month, big Super Duty and low F-150 to get things? It's a good question. I don't know how that works. I do know that there's some models that our production levels are low. Really surprising the F-150 was as large as it was, and that the Super Duty was so small, because normally Super Duty is about 15,000, and to be only 30, I think, was it 3,000? I can't remember the number from last week, but it's such a low number, so I'm not sure what it is. Can you check my order at Bronco Sport Badlands? We'll check it here in just a little bit. Let me get into some other, I got to pull this back up. Here, we'll get some other questions here, and then I'll look yours up, JR. So, all right. And then I have a VIN for my order, and my dealer told me I was scheduled for the week of 6/27. Do I get any notifications when I get an actual build date? You're supposed to. When you get closer to the actual day of the week, you're supposed to get an email. I received an email on my Lightning several weeks ago when they scheduled it for the day of the 18th, but I didn't get one when it moved around. I moved to the 13th and then to the 15th. I didn't keep getting emails. They only sent that out once. And that's the way it's supposed to be for most orders, including, I'm assuming you're talking about Maverick, that we're, so really you're supposed to, but that's not 100%, it doesn't seem like. All right, so we have 15 minutes here, so we'll get into the is it true, and then I'll get into some other news here. So for this week, the Is It True I wanted to talk about was talking about locking in rebates and incentives. So I'm hearing this on a lot of other places out there, and I get emails constantly on this. That people are saying you can't get that the dealers are telling them that they can't get the rebates and incentives from the time they ordered their vehicle. They will be whatever is available when they sign for their vehicle, which means when the vehicle comes in. And this is not true. When you order a vehicle, you lock in the incentives that were in place as well as the price when you order the vehicle. In fact, I saw a commercial this weekend. I was going to actually thought about playing the commercial that here in the Midwest, the Midwest Ford dealers is running a commercial. Order a Ford Bronco Sport. They were actually talking about the Edge and such, and 0% and locking that in. And it even says lock in those incentives now. I'm like, why would Ford be pumping this out into commercials within the region as well as nationwide if you can't do that? So it's just that dealers aren't aware of how to do it. So, and I've actually talked about this before, so I don't want to go on too much, but keep in mind, here's how you lock in rates and incentives. So you want to make sure that you, and I can send you this or you can screenshot this. I'll leave it up here for a little bit, but your dealer needs to do is when they go in to pull what they call a smart VIN, which means they take the VIN number so they can pull and see what incentives you're eligible for. It defaults to check the little radio button under the incentive based, which I've circled here in red. Normally it defaults to the sale date, which would be the date you're going in to do the paperwork that day. So in this case, it would be June 14th. But if I ordered it June 15th of 21, what were they? Well, you need to select the protect date. That would be, again, the protect date. So just like price protection as well as incentive of protection. So you click that, and then it will be based off a different date. So you can see we've been talking about this since February because the date there, sale date is February 18th. So I actually made this graphic and I've been using it since February, right? Because this is something that we've been talking about for a long time. But for some of you that are new, that's how you want to make sure your dealership does that, and they want to honor that. So you have to grab that. So hopefully you guys got a clip of that, and of course I can send it to you, but just screen grab that or see it on your phone or whatever. But that's how they want to do it. They have to pick that date. So hopefully, again, some of you have been with me for a while. You know we've talked about this. Till I'm blue in the face, but it's a little frustrating to see that dealers are not on top of this. They need to be giving you that information. So back to some news. A lot of questions in here. All right, so yeah, there's a lot of questions. I think I might have to have said that before a previous message. All right, so yeah, skipped over you, John. All right, from Massachusetts, I've been having my build pushed back many times. Now it's saying August 8th. Actually, I'll get into why that's happening. You're correct. There's a lot of orders that are getting pushed back, mainly certain models, the Maverick in general, and we'll get into why that is here in just a little bit. I want to talk about that. And then it says, how many unscheduled Broncos does McArthur have? Quite a few. I think we have 18 from the original 21 model year. So the original orders that were put in over a year ago, our original 21 Bronco orders, we still have 18 of those that are unscheduled. Plus we have, I think we're up to 60 or something, but we have others on top of that. So if you're one of our original order holders, we still have 18 of those. So still have quite a few. Do dealerships have any visibility of convoy shipping from the rail yards? It really is hit and miss. Like for some reason, we have one order that I was looking at for somebody else, and it's been tracking along and hitting all the junctions and giving us a notification that it was at this junction, that it was at this junction, it's at the ramp in Kansas City, now it's at this ramp in Kansas City. We've been getting all these notifications, but on my order, I haven't had any updates since the 29th of May. So for 2 weeks, no updates. It says it was released, so it really should be in Kansas City by now. I have no idea though. So it's kind of hit and miss on that and whether or not it gets a notification from the dealer. But the dealer can look it up for you and see what they have in there. And then let's see here. David said, when will be the last day for 21 production for model year? See, I think it's August. I don't have that date in front of me, but I can look that up for you. But I believe they're producing those into August because they're going to opening the order bank up in July. So they'll schedule in August. So September. So September is when is going to be the build out basically the last 22s will be built. So, and they only schedule a month in advance, unlike some of the other models where they schedule 2 months in advance. F-150 they schedule like 1 month in advance. So if they're scheduling this week, it's for build dates in July. So they're only a month ahead. So, all right, Gary, thanks for that donation of almost $10. I did my delivery window was last week. Now no ETA, and my Maverick is sitting at the rail yard in South Carolina, 2.5 hours from the dealership. Ford said my truck is on plant hold. Do you know why this is? Typically, that's plant hold before it leaves Mexico. So that typically is weird that it would be on a hold once it gets closer to you, like in South Carolina. It's concerning that it would be on plant hold at that point. I think at some point it was on a plant hold, but it shouldn't be now. So that's, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen one of those. Usually if I see it's got a plant hold, it doesn't leave the plant until they take care of that. Then it's shipped. Once it's in transit and it's been shipped and it's close to you, usually it doesn't get a chip hold unless something happened when they went to go put it on the truck and maybe it's a dead battery or something like that. I have seen that happen before where they can't transition it to the next place because of a dead battery or something like that. So sometimes, but it wouldn't be a plant hold though. It would be a convoy delay usually. So maybe they can look it up again because that didn't sound quite right there. So there's a couple other things I want to get to the questions, and I keep seeing you guys tag me, and I want to answer those questions so badly. But I do want to get through some of the notes that I have in here that I want to talk about. One of them is the F-150 product offering updates. So this came out for the dealers this week. So back to the talk about dealer news. So it's a little off from my original agenda on the description there. But they did update that max recline seats 91S option, which is optional equipment on several models, King Ranch, Platinum, and Limited. That now they're saying that even if you have a scheduled build date, that's going to be required to take off the max recline seat. So at this point, and more than likely, unless you've been built, you're not getting the max recline seats on those vehicles and those vehicle lines. So it says Ford will remove this option on Thursday, June 9th. So last Thursday they took that, they're taking off those. And also they updated the multi-contoured seat removal, and they added 601A, which is only for some reason. So evidently that wasn't in there. It was only on the Platinum and the Limited, but now it's including anything where you can get the multi-contoured seats. That has to be removed on your order. So, which kind of brings me to the notes, some notes that I had here about some other things. So if I had some people within the last week ask me, hey, you mentioned different constraints and such. My order has some of the constraints, but it's scheduled. Do I need to be concerned? And typically, usually you don't. So this is a rarity for Ford to put that out there. But usually once your vehicle gets scheduled, you don't have to worry about taking anything off your build whatsoever. Those constraints are really for unscheduled orders more than they are for scheduled orders. So you do not need to do anything, and especially if you have a VIN. So some people had mentioned, I have a VIN. Do I need to remove any constraint items to get built? If you have a VIN, you're already scheduled. You don't need to do anything. So you just need to, at this point, just need to wait. Another person said, I have a VIN, but my build keeps getting pushed back. Well, I get pushed to 23. So this is where I was going to address for the Maverick, where we're seeing that happening. So, you don't need to be concerned. If you have a VIN, it is going to be built as a 23. It is not going to, or 22. It's going to be built as a 20. It's not going to get pushed to 23. So once they dedicate that VIN number, it's specific to that vehicle, and that VIN number is dedicated and has the model year in the VIN number. That 10th digit is the year it's being made. So it will be made as a 22. So you don't have to worry about that. And the reason some of these are being moved back is because of constraints and parts. Right now on the Maverick, we did hear that the hybrid battery is an issue. So some of them are actually built right now, and it's taking a month before they can actually be shipped out because of the hybrid batteries. So we're seeing the hybrids being pushed back, as well as some of them that are already built being delayed, being shipped out because they do need a hybrid, or the hybrid battery. So if you do have a hybrid, a lot of people are seeing theirs being pushed back almost a month, and that is because of the battery delay on those batteries right now. So that you'll probably notice that. So if yours was pushed back like a month, you might look more than likely it's a hybrid order. and that's why it's being delayed back and moved back an entire month. And don't forget, the plant will be shut down for 2 weeks for regular maintenance. So that will happen, I think, the second and third week of July. So the week of the 10th, or the week of the 10th, or well, the 11th and the 18th, those 2 weeks, that's when the plant is going to be down for regular maintenance. Nothing, no major problems there. That's normal maintenance. Happens at every factory. Have somebody at one factory that I talk to sometimes, and it happened to them. This is normal, so nothing to be concerned about there, and talking about that. So okay, got about 4 minutes before a topic of the night. Do you want to highlight something else, a dealer memo that came out to letting you know that you can go online if you're concerned about towing, whether or not your trailer, what kind of vehicle do I need, what I need to look at, what engines can I look at to tow my trailer. Ford has somewhere you can go right now. So I'm going to actually pop this on. I need to minimize this, make sure I get this right. There we go. So I want to see if we got this. There we go. So you can go to this website, ford.com/towing, right? And you can get information. If you click on this right here, it says towing guide, click on that and it goes to the trailer towing guide. Or if you want, as you can see the URL up here, maybe you can't see it. You can't see that. The URL up there is ford.com/trucks/towing guide, towing-guide, sorry. And it gets you this nice little guide here. So you can put in information of like what your needs are. So, you know, if I need, a crew cab, if I need, four-wheel drive, right? And I'm doing conventional towing. And let's say my, your trailer weight is, 5,000 pounds, right? And it automatically adjusts 10% for your tow or for your tongue weight there. And then it tells you, okay, I have, let's say I have 4 passengers at, let's just say 200 pounds a piece, that's 800 pounds in there. And then let's say you have 1,000 pounds in the cargo. Just say that that would be your bed, right? So you put that all in, and then it lets you know, if you go from different, trucks, what you can select. So it's actually saying nothing there. I'm not sure why it's saying nothing, but maybe because of different box size. So if I pick a different box size, it'll tell you, give you different options there. But you can go through and kind of pick that. So I'm not sure why it's doing that. Let's say I want a 6.5 foot bed. So I can't select anything. Oh, because it doesn't work. But let's say I go for an 8-foot box. Should be able to go to these others and be able to select those. Not sure why it's doing that. Anyway, but you can, if you select all cabs, then you get you some other options. So it was working for me earlier. So anyway, if I want to go to fifth wheel towing, that gives you some other options. It should give you some others. So for some reason it's not working. Oh, it's because I have 8,000 pounds in there instead of 800. There we go. User error. So anyway, you want to make sure you put in all the right calculations there so you can get more information. So it tells you, it shows you kind of what options you have. So if you want, it shows you what motors when you open this up and expand it. So it's a pretty cool little guide. So you might check that out when you get a chance there. I think you'll come in real handy, especially if you're trying to figure out, towing and such and what you need to do there. So that comes in real handy. Also, the Pro Charge Station Pro distribution is being delayed. So if you have a vehicle, if you have a Lightning on order, and you're getting the the Charge Station Pro, it is being delayed. They say could be after the end of June before you see those. And because of that, they're giving everyone an additional, anyone that takes delivery between now and June 30th, they're giving an additional complimentary 250 kilowatt of DC fast charging through Electrified America and a $500 MasterCard debit card. And that's the whole point of that is to offset the installation charges because of the delay in getting those. So just keep that in mind if you have a Lightning coming in. And last thing I want to talk about real quick before I get into that is that there's a special event coming up for Bronco Off Rodeo July 21st. It is a ladies' night or ladies' day. So it's a grab your friend. You got it's July 21st at the Gray Wolf Ranch in Texas. I actually went to that one. Great facility. So you're going to have that. You're going to have some special experts that day as well. So pretty cool people. I actually got a chance to meet Shelby Hall. She is an off-road racer and an ambassador, as well as you have the Bronco chief engineer will be there, and a trail guide. So pretty cool. And there's the address right there if you want to go and sign up for that. offer.mybra.co/ladies only. Anyway, you got the link there, but that's going to be happening coming up. So let's get into the topic of the week. Got a couple other things. I'll grab that after we get done talking about that. But this week I wanted to talk about is ordering. So how does this work? So we have, some dealers are, getting a wait list. Some dealers are saying they're doing a pre-order and such like that. So the question is, with so many people with order banks closed, not being able to order, and they want to get that order in as soon as the 22 order guides open up, like Expedition, it's supposed to be tomorrow. So how does this work, right now? So orders are put in. So like for Expedition right now, if somebody were to give us information on a 23 Expedition, we can't place anything until tomorrow, as long as it opens up tomorrow. So once Ford opens up the order banks, then we can put in an order. So, really there's no pre-orders that happens with this. It's not like the Lightning. It's not like the Bronco where you reserved a vehicle and you got put your place in line. That's not the way this works. Some dealers may be getting a wait list and they're going to take the orders in that order. But here's my confusion on that, and why we're not doing it that way is we have a list of people that want to order with us, and I want to be able to communicate with those people. So I'm taking their information so that I can email them and let them know, hey, when the order guides come available, we're going to be reaching out to you and get us your order. Hopefully we have the order banks or the order guides ahead of time so that you can know how you want to order your vehicle, and you can get us that information so that morning we can just start placing the orders. So the way we're going to do it is the first information for orders, we're going to place the orders in order of how we receive them from those customers. But if the order guides aren't available until that day, we really don't know how to order a vehicle. So at this point, if you're using the 22 information to base your order, it might be 100% correct, but the color you choose may not be available come 23. Or we already know they're going to change some things, so some things may change. So saying being on a wait list is a good thing. Being a pre-order, not really such a thing. I've seen some people that said, hey, I put in my deposit and I put my order and I gave them my specifications. This is how I want it ordered. Well, come that day, they may still have to contact you and change some things, because some things may change from 22 to 23. That's why we're going to do videos to kind of show you those things. So Ford really isn't going to, you're going to go in place of however you ordered. So, if you have a wait list and if I have somebody in wait list, spot number 1, and they're not ready to order because I can't decide if I want this color or that color, I'm not going to wait for that person to put in orders, because everybody else in the country is submitting orders while I'm waiting for that one person. And so then my other people in line are going to be waiting. No, we're not going to do it that way. So just keep that in mind. You want to make sure you know what you're doing. When order guides are available, you want to find out how you want to order your vehicle, and then communicate that with your dealership to go ahead and solidify and give them your order. Here's how I want to order it, because be honest, the building price on Ford's website for 23 model year will not be updated on August 15th. I can almost guarantee you. The 22 Expedition was about a month after the order banks were open up before it was updated on their website. So in fact, if you remember back, I was actually doing every week I was checking to see what models had the build and price updated for the new model year. They were not ready when the launch of the model year. That's why we need to work with your dealer with the dealer order guides that should come out the day or hopefully a couple days prior to, and work with them that way. So that's how the process should work. Submit that order. I think what is real important right now, between now and then, is communicating with the dealerships you'd like to work with and find out how they're going to process things. Find out, do you know about the COVP process? Do you know about how to submit orders correctly to have them approved by Ford? And if they go, we'll just order them like we always have. No. That's not how it works. I've gone over and talked about this process before. So you want to make sure your dealership is knowledgeable, knows what they're doing, also that they're going to honor the price now and in the future, that they're going to price protect you, and they're not going to mark up the vehicle when it comes in. You might be a good idea to go and look at reviews from your dealer and see if with the 22 model year Mavericks, in other vehicles, if maybe, did they have any reviews where people said, when my order came in, I had to pay, 5,000, 10,000 over when it came in. Sometimes dealers are doing that. So that's another clue. So you got to make sure you work with a good dealership locally, hopefully local to you, that will honor all those things, finding out what those dealer fees are, find out if they need a deposit, that kind of thing. Be doing your homework right now on those dealers and finding out which dealer you're going to go with. And then if they have a waiting list or they have that list, like we do, to get on that list. So in our list, I do have over 70 people on my list. And with that list, I'll email them. I'm going to bulk email out and let them know the process, and let them know that I will send them the order guide as soon as it becomes available, and to be looking for my videos. And if it's that day, then that's the first thing I'm going to do in the morning before I take any orders. We have other managers who will be taking orders, but the first thing I'm going to do is getting videos out, and I may be doing them live so that people know, how things are changed and how they're different for them to order. So just keep that in mind, and hopefully everything goes well for you. But that's kind of how the process works. So there's not such a thing as a pre-order or a reservation right now. Dealers are taking waiting lists, but if dealers are taking deposits and they're taking orders from you, that could totally change between now and August 15th for the Maverick, or for any of your models. If you're looking at the F-150, what's available in 22 F-150, it's going to be different, and 23, in a month when that opens up. So just keep that in mind. A couple things that I didn't get a chance to get to because I rambled on. One of them is the Desert Sand Bronco. So if you are looking at an Everglades edition and you want the Desert Sand, effective last Thursday, you could not edit to get that color anymore. If you already have that color, you're good, you're locked in, but you cannot add that color. So the other Everglade colors are the Eruption Green, Shadow Black, Area 51, and Cactus Gray. I want to make sure I highlighted that. And recently there's been a lot of recalls come out, and one of them, not necessarily a recall on the Maverick, because there's not an initial recall. Reached out to the brand manager today to find out if there's been any issues, if he's heard anything, because last week I emailed him about the issues with the hybrids being stranded on the side of the road because the electrical just went out on their Maverick. And if they know about anything, if there's a recall coming out or a TSB or anything, and he has called around and he hasn't heard anything. So evidently they're not paying attention to social media very much, and they're seeing all these stories and even videos of people stranded on the side of the road and what happened to their vehicle. But there is this graphic that someone sent that I found that you might find useful. So right there, this is what they found out is the issue and the problem with those. So if you do have that happen to you, go into your Ford dealer. You might give them this part number. In fact, I can't see it very big right there, but let me actually pull it up over here. Let me get it pulled up. There we go. Let me get it pulled up bigger where I can read it. So it is there is a part number, and it actually says for Larry XL XLT hybrid that if there is an issue, I guess it's an LX6Z10 C as in cat 679 Bravo. So that is what they have to replace. It looks like that's the problem and why they're having issues there. It is a battery cable that needs to basically be replaced probably. Now I don't know how long it would take for those parts to come in, but that is what's causing the issue, and that's what several Ford dealers and service departments have found out. Didn't get a chance to reach out to them before I went live earlier, before they closed, to reach out and see if they've had any issues. But so there you go. There's how it would be fixed. So I'm not sure. Should be. I'd assume there's going to be a TSB or a recall at some point. Maybe there's not enough vehicles been affected yet to have a recall out there, but like they recalled, I think today I saw that they recalled over 48,000 Mach-E's with an overheat and loss of propulsion power, and that they're going to have a software update that can be done, so they won't have to go into a dealership to fix it, which is great. And then I've seen F-150 shifter. A general manager has an F-150 that his shifter it's not moving. He can't move it out of park at all. He'll have a foot on the brake and everything, and it will not move out of park. Some of them, they'll have it in drive or neutral, and it won't go. It just stays in neutral. It won't go back and forth. So they're having issues with that. And then so Bronco, I think something with the rear seat, and I didn't get complete information on that one. So there's a lot of different recalls going on right now. So hopefully that helps people out. So I had a couple articles I was going to talk about, but let's get into some questions first, and I can always talk more about those articles. And if I don't have any questions, so let's see. Go back up here. I know I missed some questions. I have a new member, by the way, in there, so I noticed that. All right, Johnny says, in your region, are you being told that the 22 model year ordered as a January 22? If they get converted to 20, they cannot be price protected. Have not heard that yet. Haven't heard anything about that, Johnny. Not sure. Haven't heard that, but I'll do some investigating. Now, I did actually see that there is a dealership on that's very prominent on the Maverick Truck Club, Granger Ford, great dealership. They're in the Kansas City region. They're in Iowa, but they're also in the Kansas City region. So we would share allocations because the allocations are given to the region and then divided up to the dealers. Looks like this month we have 20 Maverick allocations. They have 58. And so they did say, though, that they were told that the allocations were going to be prioritized by the date the order dates, and more than likely the reason they probably they received 58 and we received 20 was a couple months ago when we had 80. I really tried to push those early orders with our brand manager and said, hey, these orders need to be scheduled, and a lot of them had the constraint items of the luxury package and Copilot. And so those all got scheduled for us. So we only have 6 June, July orders left, not scheduled, and about 20 in August, not scheduled. And so more than likely Granger probably has more June, July orders that are unscheduled, and that's why they got more allocations. So that would be my assumption. So did see that. So good that they got some allocations. Definitely, no matter where you're at in the country, if you have a June, July order, those need to get scheduled this month, I assume, and I think we need to start pushing for those August orders as dealers and getting those all, and they need to be getting those early orders for those people. I know people with EcoBoost that, hey, well, what about us? Well, that's great, but like for us, we have no EcoBoost orders, maybe one prior to November. So, all these other orders that have ordered back in June, July, August, September, I really think that, they should get, prioritized and looked at first. And there are more hybrid orders than EcoBoost in the order banks. So we'll just have to see. So, all right, scroll down to some more questions here. James says, what's up with the Mach-E recall? Okay, I did mention, talked about that. So, yeah, so that's not good because electrical issue on a Mach-E, that's how it moves, right? So that's not good. All right, please put Lawn McArthur. Yep. Yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier. Put Lawn McArthur at the beginning so that I can see that. I'm kind of looking at those first, and then if I don't have any answers, I'm going back through and see if I missed something. If you tagged me, but at Lawn McArthur, that's how I'm logged into the YouTube here. I have a 22 Raptor on order scheduled for a build next week. Do you know what percentage constraints on the rear Ford tailgate applique? I'm worried it won't be on the truck. Oh man, that was on the order bank last week. I think that information was still in the information last month here. Oh wait, there's Raptor. Doesn't actually mention it on here, but I know that was an issue. I don't think any of them are being built with it, to be honest. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I think if I remember right, they said to make sure that you take that off of your orders. And so you might check and look. If it's being scheduled for next week, you probably can pull a window sticker. It should be on your window sticker if they had to take it off. So you should see that option added to it under the optional equipment if that was the case. Tim, how much money with the Ford A-Plan on a base model Maverick do I expect to get off? My dealer is being kind of difficult. Thank you. Not much. There's not a lot of markup there on those. I'm not sure. But you should be able to get the A-Plan if you have it. I don't think I have one here that has a plan pricing on it. Here, I can probably tell you. Let me go over here to our this way. By the way, don't forget to get your Doras when you order your vehicle. Guess who forgot to do theirs on their expedition? I did. They are automatic price protected, so my dealer's like, nope, we don't have to worry about it. We just have to kind of figure what it is and lower that price, and then Ford will reimburse us that. The main reason for the Dora is to, in case Ford has an issue and says that they can't find it or can't give you that, then they won't give it to you. So the Dora is kind of proof to Ford that it's good, but my dealer's being nice about it. But I did forget to print. I printed it and I had it. I don't know what happened. I somehow threw it away. It might be in some of my papers over there, but yeah, it's always a good idea. Make sure you get your Doras, and if you, those of you for the ordering for 23, make sure you get those order sheets. Ask for a copy of the Dora, which is the same as an order sheet, so it should work. But yeah, good idea to get those. See if I can find an A plan here. Give us a good idea. And let me see the preview of that one. Oh, forgot to. All right. Let's see. I forgot how I'm supposed to find that. Here we go. There we go. So from the MSRP, like on this particular order, this is actually a Lariat. It's 28,000. A plan's 26,600. So you're about $1,300 or so is what you'd save on a Lariat. And you know, if you get, you know, maybe let's see here, find a XLT. Here's an XLT. Just as an idea. Just so you kind of know, here this is an XLT. I guess it's still 29. So there's an XLT that's 29.2, and X plan is 28.6. So that shows you $600. So basically, X plan pretty much invoice pricing, and then the A plan on this one, or well, D plan, which is what like dealers would get on this particular vehicle, is 27.6. So it's about what is it? Can't do math while I'm on video live stream. It's about $2,300 or $1,300 or so. So there's not a lot of markup on the Maverick. So if they don't give it to you, that's a sad thing, but that's what it should be come down to. So all right, Vols, how can current Maverick owners report the hybrid battery cable to expedite the TSB? You probably can do is go into your dealer and say, this has been an issue. This is what it's been on other people. Can you check mine? And maybe you could have them look at it and inspect it, would be my thinking, and seeing if they'll be willing to do that. So that would probably be the best case there. So can you possibly confirm a build date of 6/31 for Ellis? Yeah, let me look that up. And I also, someone else, JR, you wanted me to look up yours as well. If you're still on the live stream, send me your order number. I don't have it off the top of my head. And while I'm in here, and again, I can only do this for people that have orders with us. So Vols does. What was that L? What was that L? Was that L29? Is that right? I missed it. I can't find it. There it is. L29S. I think about everybody's, if you have a hybrid order that was in June, about everybody's moved about a month back. So it looks like it's July 25th. So yeah, yours moved back a month. So it looks like if you have a hybrid, you can almost expect that if you had a hybrid scheduled for the month of June, it was probably moved back a month, and you're going to be a month back of that. So, all right, Melissa said, when my Maverick order gets pushed to 23, do I have to stay with the dealer that I ordered from? Your order is in there with them. If you want to keep that order, yes. If you want to do a new order, you can do it with a new dealership, but you can't move your order to another dealership. So what was an A plan? So, okay. So I think I actually talked about both. So A plan. I know I spent a little time on this, but just to double check. So for instance, I'll pick up even a different order here. So this in here. There you go. So the difference between A plan and D plan is $100, basically exactly $100. So like on this one it's 28.6. So an A plan, Z plan is 27,095. So you're $1,600. So or so on this particular order. And this one has an MSRP of 28. So it's going to vary depending on that. But that kind of gives you a good idea there. So a D plan is dealership employees. A plan, Z plan are factory employees and retired factory employees in their relatives. They get 2 plans. I know we get 2 a year. So, and then X plan would be partnered plans. So, all right. So Brian says, what is an A plan? Just explain that. So there you go. And then Anthony says, is Ford still accepting orders for the 22 Explorer? Yes. Thursday is the deadline. So there you go. So get that in, and you get a lock-in 0% for 60, and you get $1,000 rebate as well, as long as your dealership follows the instructions I gave earlier. So, all right. So I catch up on all the questions. If I did not, I'm at the bottom now. If I missed your question, please tag at @McArthur. Put it down there again, and I apologize that I missed it. But I want to make sure I answer your question there, and I'll get to that question. While I'm waiting for more questions, oh, we already got one now. Mav Tailgate Assist would be a great giveaway. Oh, good idea. Okay. Not that they're that heavy anyway, but yes, we could probably do something like that. Let me get with them. Is there any new part constraints on the Super Duty F450? They usually give us constraints at the beginning of the month, and then they're supposed to be the same for the entire month of scheduling. So nothing new this week. Nothing really showed up. Let me close this here. Let me see if I can pull my notes that was sent to us this week. Or maybe I shouldn't say that. All right, let's see here. Oh, can't find it. So I don't think there's any new ones. Here's what they were at the beginning of the month. Super Duty. Don't think I can throw that up on the screen, so I'll just go through it. So moonroof is at 22 to 28% constrained. Platform running boards is 18 to 24%. 6.2 liter is being pulled at 20 to 30%, and 6.7 at 60 to 70%. So if you have a diesel, that's a good thing. And then the M275 axle electric locking, that's on the X3J body code, or the X3E body code, or the X4M body code. Those are all cabin chassis body codes on the F350 and F450, are 20 to 25%. And then your Lariat with the quad beam LEDs and LED headlights, fog lights, and tail lights are 25 to 35%. So if you didn't elect to go with the halogens, you're going that route there. So there's other ones that they said to make sure you take off, like the spray and bed liner, the fifth wheel prep package as well. I know those two, as well as your I think just those two that I'm thinking of. There's another one, but I can't think of it right now. All right. How long should I be in production? I went into production 5/31 is not moved according. Okay, so when it goes into production, as soon as that window sticker is sent to the plant for building, that's when it starts the in production cycle. So that can usually happen sometimes like a week before, or like usually a Thursday, Friday before the build week. So that's when it technically goes into production. The sub status, beside you have subcategories, would be sent to plant. And at some point when it's in production and it's being built, then it'll say that. And then sometimes if it's on a plant hold, if it's waiting on a microchip or something, it can stay in that in production status until it's released. Once it's released, it'll change from in production to in transit. So if you're being held up for a chip hold or a part constraint, then it can be in production longer, and that date it's hard to say. That's the question at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, I'm sorry, John, if you could put that question back in there. I did not see that. So, Usually when I'm going through my notes, sometimes I don't look at the chat, so I apologize for that. That's the question begins. If you could pop that question back in there, I'll make sure I answer it. Hey, Mr. Tim, could someone order a 23 Maverick with you, but have it delivered to a local dealer? Yes, as long as that local dealer is willing to accept what they call a courtesy delivery. Not all dealerships will. So you can always contact that dealer and find that out. See if they'll do a drop ship and such. Or courtesy delivery is what they call it. And usually what you want to do is you can call the dealership and ask for the courtesy delivery manager. And that's usually how that works. Or sometimes a fleet manager will do those. If they don't have that or they don't have that, you can always ask for a manager and see if they do courtesy deliveries. So, and a great way to say that is that, like we do, is we usually call for our customers. So if they want, we did that for a lot of dealerships in California and Florida and Hawaii. And what basically we did is we called the dealerships and for the customer and said, hey, one of our loyal customers has moved into your area. They would like to order from us and have it courtesy delivered there. Would you do a courtesy delivery for us? And then they usually say yes or no. And then we ask them how much will that be? And then they send us that in email confirmation. So we have that as well as who would be doing that. So that we can put their dealer code in there and have it shipped to their dealership. So that can be done. Just depends on if there's someone in that area. I know in Florida, we struggled finding dealerships willing to work with us and do that because they would rather have them, get a vehicle from them instead. So some dealers just won't do it, and so they know because they would rather sell it to that customer at 2,000 over instead. And so that's usually what would happen. So that's the struggle there sometimes. You guys have any F-150 Lightnings? Not yet. Our demo unit is not here. We just talked about that today, as well as we have one Lightning that should be here by now for our first customer, but it is not yet. So still waiting on it to show up. All right. So then Michael said, hey, hi, Tim, this is my production week was last week, all week. A week in the order tracker, it showed in production all week, but by Friday it went to order confirmed. Why is that? Probably a part constraint would be my assumption there. So I do want to, since Gary did put a $5 donation in there, I do want to answer his question real quick, and I'll get back up here. It says, thanks again for everything, Tim. Could my truck's plant hold at the rail yard mean they're looking for transportation to the dealer? Usually it'll say convoy delay. It usually won't say plant hold. So you might check with them again and make sure that they're correct on that, because maybe at one point, if they look at the tracker, if they actually open it up wider, they can actually see where it's at now. Because at one point it may have had a plant hold, but then it was shipped out once it had its microchips or whatever, and then it was shipped out. And right now the hold may not be that; it may be just a convoy delay. So I may have them maybe look into that, and they can call their Ford rep. And the Ford rep can help them out. If it's like for us, it's Kansas City. So when something gets to Kansas City and gets to a ramp in Kansas City, I could start getting our Ford rep involved, and she can, especially if it's been sitting there at the ramp for a couple weeks, then we can get them to look into it and try to get that on a truck. Fortunately, we've actually got a really good connection with one of our transport drivers, and he'll actually do some looking for us when he goes back. So we've had that happen, and found a vehicle that actually was lost in Kansas City for 2 months. It was sitting there 2 months. Ford couldn't find it. It was in Kansas City. We knew that. Couldn't find it. This transport driver went back, talked to his dispatch guy, and they found it within an hour and put it on the next truck. So it's kind of cool. All right. So it says, given the delays, would you expect the resale of the 22 Maverick build be worth the same in resale as 23? Right now with our market, I think it's still going to bring some good money. You should at least get your money back, I would think. So Daniel said, any opinions on what bed cover would work best on the Maverick? I'd like the sturdy cover that no one is going to block much of the bed, such as some of the hard folding covers. Yeah. So the three that Ford puts on their vehicles from the factory is they do the tri-fold soft cover, and then so that one's a pretty good one. It's the cheaper of the three, and it tri-folds up. The thing about it is usually when you tri-fold, it's three pieces, so then you're still left with taking up some of that bed towards the back. but it does overlap really well and protect inside of it. You also have the tri-fold hardcover, which is the same way. So it's going to fold up. It's going to be more of a durable material for you. Sometimes it'll fold up and cover the back window, which is one of the reasons I don't like the tri-folds. I particularly like the aluminum roll-up, which is what I'm going to get on my F-150, because it'll roll up and I can, keep it back to the back if I want to. It has a nice Ford emblem in the back. It's more expensive. It's like twice as much as, maybe almost 3 times as much as the soft trifold, but it rolls up and then it doesn't take up a lot of space and it doesn't block the window. So I can still see out the back with that rolled up. And then when of course, it'll still go over the bed and everything. So that's one of my favorite, but it is more expensive. All right, so WA says, already answered 2 questions. Is there a factory or dealer lift kit for the Bronco Sport Badlands? When do orders close for Bronco Sport Badlands? Okay, so orders do close Thursday for 22. I did mention that earlier. So those do close up Thursday, so you want to get your order in if you're going to. And do not have a factory lift kit, but dealers can get lift kits for those. We actually have put level kits on a lot of our Broncos. We call it an LMX4 package. We put a level kit, wheels, tires, and leather in them. Something we do to some of our, our base and Big Ben Bronco Sports. And so dealers can get any kind of level kit. The same one they use on the Bronco Sport, they can also use on the Maverick, by the way. All right, and then Rich said, was your Lightning built last week like scheduled? It's supposed to be tomorrow. So it's a max tow package to be added after delivery. No, that's done at the dealer. It's extra for the max trailer tow package on the Lightning is extra cooling. That's basically what you get on that. So it just helps cool off that battery so it can tow more weight. All right, see Zeke's question. Oh, I missed a question. All right, Zeke, you might have to repost it, as I totally missed it. Oh, okay, right here. I had contacted you a few weeks back with interest to order through your dealership. I just wanted to confirm I was on your list. Yes, I was. Yep, you are. Yep. Double check here, but I'm positive that sounds really familiar. Whoa. Got a big list here. Yep, you're on. Gotcha. So yeah, so you'll be getting an email from me beginning of April or August. I mean, not April. I live 6 hours away from your dealer. Can I place my order with you? Maverick without driving there? Yes, we do. We did over almost 500 orders for 22 model year, and I would probably say 500 out of the 591 or even more than that was all done by phone, email, DocuSign. Found any issues? So yep, we do it. Not a problem. You won't. You'll have to do a lot by talking about the different things. We'll email you a copy of the order once we put that in there. You can always change and edit anything on that order prior to that, before us confirming everything. And then once that's good, we'll send you a copy for you to sign. You'll need to send us a copy of your driver's license, and then we'll submit all the copies in. Not a problem. All right. All right. Thanks, Mike, for pointing that out for Zeke's comment. So, Ryan, Ford. All right. So Jerry said, how long is your waiting list that are waiting to order for Mavericks? We have several of our coordinators and our BDC, which department that's under my kind of umbrella, under my department. I know they have a list of about 50 people each, and there's 4 coordinators, and then I have a list of 70. So quite a few people here. And again, like that, if my list is 70, if I have, the first several that contact me, when the order banks come out of here's how I want to order it, when I start receiving those by email, then I'll put those in that stack, and that's when I'll submit them in that order on that first day. So yeah, that's how we'll do that. So And we'll go over that. Anybody on the list, I'm going to compile a list from the ladies in the BDC as well, put them into one, send out an email blast so everybody knows what the process is going to be. Kind of like I mentioned earlier at the 30-minute time mark of this video. That's how we're going to do it with that as well. So anyway, wow, the stream went from 200 to 400 real quick. All right, so how long is your, okay. Javier said, are the 23 Ford Maverick pre-order for August confirmed? There is no such thing as a pre-order. I talked about that earlier. You probably jumped in a little bit late for that, but yeah, if you can talk about that, there's really no such thing as a pre-order at this point. It's just dealerships compiling lists. If you base it off of 22, most of that's going to be the same, but there are going to be some differences for 22 to 23. So we will wait for the order guides to confirm any orders, and then we'll submit orders. We're not going to take any deposits or anything for that. We haven't decided yet whether or not we're going to take deposits on the Maverick and orders for 23. Because of the new name match, we may want to take deposits just because we want to make sure that people aren't just putting in a bunch of orders with a bunch of dealerships and then taking the first one that gets scheduled and then canceling all the others. Because of the name match, if one gets scheduled and they don't take it, then that's going to hurt us possibly. And if we get below that 75% rating, then we would lose allocations for 1 month, and we don't want that for our customers. So we may ask for deposits, small deposit, but we just want some commitment from the customer. It may be $100, it may be $500, we don't know. We may not be taking deposits, but we'll have to see. But so just, I mean, with the new name match rules that Ford has, I think you're going to see more dealerships taking deposits for that reason, because they want to make sure they have a customer that's serious about putting in an order, that you're not just, hey, I'm going to put in an order just for fun, or whatever, hopefully they're putting in orders that they really want to take the vehicle, and so, because we've had a lot of people that have put in an order, the Mavericks come in. We had 1 month where we had a bunch that came in, customers didn't take them, and it's like, why'd you put in an order if you didn't want it, and at some point it was because it took so long. That I get. I mean, that makes total sense. If it takes 6-9 months, a year, you have to get a vehicle, or you want to get a new vehicle, if it takes that long, that makes a lot of sense. So, but what we do too is if we do take a deposit, it's a refundable deposit. We'll give it back. If we're not able to cancel the order before it gets scheduled, that would be the only reason we'd keep the deposit. I don't know, but in the past we used to do a deposit because somebody would order an F-150 with a Super Crew long bed with a max trailer tow package on it with the big mirrors and everything, and if that it came in and they didn't take it, it was a struggle to sell that. Now inventory low, we'll take anything we can get, so that's not a problem. But a couple of years ago, pre-COVID, if somebody ordered a truck like that and they didn't take it, it could sit on our lot for almost a year before somebody would look at it and buy it, because there were so many other vehicles out there for them to choose from, and they didn't want the big mirrors, they didn't want the long bed, they want a short bed, that kind of thing. Now it's a little bit different. That's why we haven't been taking deposits on any of the vehicles, and we may not. We'll just have to see. But some dealers I know are, and that makes sense. So for some dealers, it just seems right. So, all right. So Tim, will you see your question? Yeah, put Atlaw McArthur before it. I think I missed one from Ricky and Kelly. Where was that? I like to go up if I did miss it, so you don't have to put it in again. All right, Tim, is it true there may be a full EV Maverick in 23? I doubt it. It looks like the next EV probably won't be announced until 23, 24, maybe 24, 25. So I don't really think we're going to see any kind of full EV Maverick, for a little bit. So I think it's going to be hybrid, at least for next year. Usually that's more of because usually you usually go 5 or 6 years before you have a new redesign. Sometimes 3 years in, you get a refresh to it. And sometimes you might see something like a plug-in hybrid. This article I didn't read, but one of the quotes in this says Jim Farley recently stated that future EVs won't simply be electric versions of existing ICE-powered models. This means that the vehicles like the F-150 Lightning, which is essentially just an electrified F-150, won't be emulated in the future. And that apparently that includes, and this would happen to be about the Ford Explorer. Ford says you got to be more creative with your look, design, in the different technology that's in them. So I don't see that they're going to actually just electrify the Maverick, but that's just an opinion, and it's my opinion. I see a plug-in version, very likely. So it'd be nice to see that. So that'd be kind of cool. All right. Whoa. missed a lot of questions there. Yep, we actually have had we've had several people that put in orders with us and that had an order with another dealership to see which would come in first, thinking because we have more orders, it would get more allocations and that kind of thing. So hopefully, you know, Ford's going to pull it as a percentage of that dealership of the dealerships. You know, just like with us, you know, I mean, we talked about it earlier. Granger Ford had 58 allocations. We had 20. We have more, or I think we have more orders than they do, or at least unscheduled. You know. And we may have similar numbers, but you know, in that case, you know, that month it did it, but based on that was because they maybe had older orders, more of the older orders not scheduled than we do, and that's why they got more allocations this month than we did. So it seems to be a point there, and so hopefully that continues in that trend. Don't know. Some of it has to do with how many you sell, which does bode well for us because we have had some really big months and we are the #1 Maverick dealer in our region. So we should get more allocations than other dealerships within our region because of the sales that we've had. And a lot of that early on was based on, you got allocations based on how many orders, certified orders you had as well. So did the Platinum F-150, that customer refused sell this week? I don't think it did. I think it is still on our website. We did lower the price on it. But it is available. So, all right, can I change my Maverick order still? For example, XLT to Lariat, or drop the spray and bedliner? I wouldn't advise in that. If you change from one trim to another, you change your order receipt date. So if you ordered back in September and you ordered a hybrid XLT and you want to switch the XLT to Lariat, that moves your date to the very last date you could do an order. So you do not want to do that. Now the spray and bed liner and drop in bed liner, that is different. Those are any trims you don't want to change, and of course you can't change from another model, and of course you can't add any of the luxury packages, but you can take items off of your order. In fact, we did about 10 orders that we actually had some things dropped off of some of our orders so they could get scheduled this week, or we thought it was gonna be this week. Now it's next week hopefully, but that would be the case. I wouldn't change your trim. That will change your order date, and I would not change. You can take off the drop-in liners. I would take off. Hopefully you've done that already. Take those off. Now, if you have the luxury package, it's included, so you can't take it off without taking the package off. All right. So Mike said, I read that starting on 6/15, Ford will not allow you to buy out your lease on a new EV in 37 states. How can I find out what 37 states? Oh, I don't know. I actually hadn't heard that. That's new news to me. I thought I actually saw an article today about wanting to do more leases for EV vehicles, but I did not hear that. I'm not sure why they won't let you buy out your lease. We can do that here, so not sure. We have a lot of customers that will lease, and they won't go the 3 years or 2 years, whatever the lease is. They'll even do it after a year, and they'll just pay off whatever they would owe on the rest of that buyout. So anyway, all right. So Wes said, Lightning, best to stay with small dealer or go with a larger dealer. I think on the Lightning that one will go by the date that reservation was put in, outside of dealer prioritizations, of course. So in my opinion, it's not necessary. What I've been telling people that have called us and asked about switching over to us is, I think it's more important that you find a dealership that's going to honor the price and deliver and do those kind of things, and not have a big markup or add a bunch of hidden fees or hidden products to your vehicle without your permission, like a clear coat, and charge you $2,000 for it or something like that, or nitrogen in your tires and that kind of thing that they just add to the vehicle without your permission. I think you're better off finding a dealership that's going to do the MSRP pricing, that's not going to add a bunch of extra accessories without your permission and that kind of thing, than it is to go with a dealership that has more orders and such. Because for us, we had 130 at the time, Lightning reservations, but we only received 3 allocations for 22. So of course, I think it might be more advantageous to you to find a dealership in California than anything. I mean, because that's where it seemed like most of the Lightnings were getting scheduled for, was those EV states, more than it was anything else. So sometimes I almost look at the different people from California that reserved with us and switched over to us and said, I wonder if they would have been better staying with their local dealer because, you know, I mean, it's hard to tell, you know, but it seems like the California states got, and the EV states had a lot more allocations for 22 than we did. So, or than some of the other dealers. So, anyway, all right. Javier said, is it possible to get a tonneau cover installed at a dealership? Yes. Yep. Most dealerships, you can do that. We have an aftermarket department, so we can get that right through them. But yes, you can. So, all right. Any other questions? Did I miss any? So just while I'm waiting for some other questions, so that article I was going to read earlier was where the Ford CEO Farley says that Explorer customers might not like the upcoming EVs. And I mentioned, I already quoted the first paragraph there, but Farley said that he said Farley went so far as to say that traditional Explorer customers may not like the all-electric vehicles the automaker is cooking up. So they're basically saying if you like an Explorer but you want an electric Explorer, you're not going to probably see it. It's going to look different. So he kind of mentions in here that those traditional Explorer customers, and actually I have the link to this article in the description if you want to read the whole article. But those traditional Explorer customers will at least have an electric version of that crossover to consider very soon, meaning a third row electric vehicle. Farley first revealed that the Explorer EV was in development over a year ago, though it and the Lincoln Aviator EV have since been pushed back from 23 to late 24. That delay stems from the fact that the Ford will reportedly build the Explorer and Aviator EVs at its Oakville assembly plant in Canada. So they were going to build it in the plant in Mexico, but now they're looking at the one in Canada, as well as Chicago assembly plant where the ICE-powered Explorer and Aviator are built now. So instead of building it in Chicago, they're going to build it in Canada. So anyway, so that's a pretty cool article. So anyway, any other questions? All right. Super Duty Limited ordered 3/1. No VIN issued 12/21. Super Duty production ends. If no VIN by 12/22, will my order roll into 23? Yes. I assume the new COV order required would be 3/1/22. Order still apply. So would everything apply? It should apply. I'm not sure, to be honest. There's been some, I know on some of them they're talking about, which orders are going to, carry over, and whether or not, I think even Johnny mentioned it earlier that if you didn't have your order in, any of the orders starting the first of the year may not be price protected if they roll over to 23. It may be the ones prior to that. Well, and technically right now, they wouldn't be under the initial price because luckily Mavericks only had one price increase, and that happened at the end of the year, almost January 1. It was the 27th, I think, of December was the only price increase. So anybody that ordered in January would have been on the higher price anyway. And so the ones prior to that are going to be price protected into 23. They should be. Anything in January should be price protected to right now's pricing. So if they get an increase again, which would be, in my opinion, a second increase for 23 to start with, then I'm not sure how they're going to do that, because they are talking about possibly not doing a price protection on those. So we'll just have to see. So William said, hi Tim, can you check my Maverick order L20S? And I do see JR, you asked too. JR, can you give me your order number? So it'd be something similar to what William put in there, 4-digit number with a letter before and after, usually. L20S. And again, just a reminder, every time I do this, I want to remind people that I can only look up our orders. So L20S. Where's that? Hold on a second. Click on that. All right, so it looks like it's 8/1 is the build week. We don't have a build day yet. So 8/1. So yeah, it got moved back. Sorry, William. All right, so K. Lawrence said, what is the best way to get my rail number to track my shipped Bronco Sport. I purchased elsewhere, just looking for guidance. The dealer can give you that rail number. Like I don't have one on mine because I haven't had an update since it said it was released. Didn't even get a rail number, so I can't even track the rail. But the dealer can find that. They have to pull it up on vehicle visibility, so you'll need to contact your dealer to get that information. Unless it possibly of green as a 23. Hopefully, that is a really cool color. We have some people that are getting it in several vehicles. Looks really good on the Bronco, by the way. We do have a Mustang that's supposed to be coming in real soon in that same color, so we'll see how it looks. All right, so JR, yeah. So give me your order number, JR. There you go, M98M. You said that's on a Bronco Sport, right? I don't think it's the one that's... Oh, wait. That's not showing up in there, so that must have already been released from the plant and on its way. Let's try to look it up. All right. Oh, nope, there it is. I have an M98M for Maverick. You'd mentioned Bronco Sport, so maybe that's a different order number. So maybe you have a different order number for your Bronco Sport. Here, let me look. One other thing I could do. Let me look at Bronco Sport orders up. I probably can get the order number. We have less Bronco Sport orders, so it's a little easier for us to find that. Here's our Maverick. Whee! There's Explorer, F-150. Got a lot of F-150 ones too. Bronco. There's Bronco Sport. Don't see it in here. I don't see it in there. I might have to get a hold of you, so we might have an issue there, but I don't know. Anyway. All right. Max said, any information on the 23 Ford Escape new body style? I've seen I don't think it's been released yet. Everything I'm finding is it's already like badged up so people can't see what it looks like. So it's probably just more of a refresh, like the grill, the front end, the fenders and such, than anything at this point. But I haven't seen any images yet. So, hey Tim, which Ford Maverick would you consider buying if you were in the market for one? Well, I had said at one point if I was looking and I was actually going to get one, I was XLT with a luxury package and a Copilot 360 package. And hybrid is probably the way I'd go there. Don't really need to add much else other than those to it. Would be kind of the way I'd go. So, but you know, I don't know. I do like what you get on the Lariat though. I mean, you know, a lot of things there. You know, once you go, even just go on Lariat, but Lariat Luxury get you the adaptive cruise control and get you all those other features that's included with that. That's a way to go as well. So I think either one is good there. Okay. All right, Jorge. So I think yours is still unscheduled. It's actually one that I sent to the brand manager. So hopefully we get yours scheduled this month. But yours is not scheduled yet. Hopefully I said your name right. I'm bad with names. All right, last 23 model year reservations to order handled better than 23 or 22. Okay, so I assume you're talking about Lightning. We don't know, and keep in mind when Ford says a season, whenever they say this summer, they actually mean the season's summer. So like summer doesn't start until June 20th. So we probably won't find, or when is it? The first day of summer, June 21st, I think, or 23rd. One of those days. I always get them mixed up. But when they say summer, they mean the earliest would be that date, and the latest would, and then the latest you would see it would be what, September. So I could see it being like August, September before we get any information on ordering for the 23 reservations transferring over to orders, would be my guess. my guess, we won't get any information in June. I know they're finishing up this wholesale, or the last scheduling for 22 model year this month. Some people are still doing that, and so more than likely July, August is probably when we're going to see starting to convert those for 23 model year. So that would be my guess, that maybe late July, maybe the same as the F-150. Any other questions there? All right. So thanks for all the questions. Really helped out. I think I got into everything I was going to talk about. Not in the order I was going to do it, so that I think we got through everything there. Any other questions? All right, so Carmen said, is my dealer allowed to charge $4,000 over invoice on Ford Lightning? Technically, yes, they are. I know there's been a lot of articles out there about Jim Farley says we're going to go to no negotiation pricing and such, but none of that right now, because of the dealers' allegiance and contracts and such. Technically, the Ford dealers can do whatever they want to when it comes to pricing and different things like that. Ford will, help the dealers like with price protection and such. Like Ford will say this is automatic price protected, so that way they're going to get reimbursed the money back if they go ahead and honor the price when the person ordered the vehicle, but the dealer still has the right to do it or not do it, right? And so it's really up to the dealership. Even on the EV, you sign up to be an EV dealer, you're signing up to have an EV service technician, you're signing up to have special EV salespeople. You set up where you can do online ordering and that kind of stuff, but pricing was never part of that. So technically right now, until they redo it, dealerships can do whatever they want. So technically they can, whether it be an EV or any other way. So what we're going to probably see coming, we'll find out more in September, is that dealers that want to sign up for the Ford Model E and be future EV dealers in a sense of any other future EV models will be required to adhere to certain policies, which I think is great. I really think they should do that for even the ICE vehicles as well. But yeah, and we are a dealership that marks our vehicles up on our lot, if a vehicle comes in and doesn't sell, and we do that. Because we budget it based, or we price them based on the market value. We just dropped, in fact, tonight, I'll be repricing, we got a bunch of F-150s in, and I'm going to be repricing a bunch of our F-150s. I think we're going to be like $2,500 off of MSRP. We're going to be close to back down to invoice pricing with no rebates and such here coming up real soon. And here it is. And we go through and reprice all of our vehicles. So anything that's in green. So we did get a big load of F-150s the last 2 weeks. Stock F-150s plus Roush F-150s. We're not allowed to lower a Roush F-150 below MSRP minus rebate, being with our contract with Roush. But our prices, we have some that are over MSRP. We have others that, in fact, there aren't a lot of vehicles right now that we're selling that are above MSRP on our lot on stock vehicles. Super Duty is one of them. Ranger is one of them, just because you can't get too many Rangers right now. Explorer, we are a little bit above on Explorers because they also are hard to get. But Edge, Escape, we're below MSRP. F-150, we're below MSRP. So most of our vehicles, we are. A Bronco Sport is also a hard one to get, especially a Badlands edition. So some of those are over MSRP. But on all of our ordered vehicles, we do a custom order for somebody, we're doing MSRP. We're not marking those up for them. So. All right. So my salesperson is Michael Mole, and I do have code. Okay, yeah, we'll have to look that up. So now, if it's already been scheduled, that's why it's probably not showing up on this. So, see if I can go to this. So that's probably it's not showing up on that report. That makes a lot of sense. So, JR, is your Bronco Sport already scheduled for an opening, or for already been scheduled? So, oh, you had another question here. When will F-150 Lightning reopen banks again? That's what they're saying. They're just giving us a season of this summer, so they don't really know. So, when will I know about the change from 22 to 23 and to contact my dealer? The changes in 20 to 20, probably, well, here's one of the things that I'm using as a scenario right now. 23 order banks for the Expedition are supposed to open up tomorrow, and we have yet to see an order guide to see if there's any changes yet. So if we see order guides the day that they open up orders, then that would be the day. Hopefully we receive them early. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to get information out on any changes to the 23 Maverick based on the 22 as early as possible. So as soon as those order guides come out, I'm going to be contacting our dealers and letting them know here are the things that have changed from 22 to 23. So you can go on to the build and price, build it out you want to, but here are some changes that you would see differently than what you're seeing on the build and price. How would you like to order it? And then when they submit those to us, then that way we have those. So when they open up on the 15th, we can just submit orders. But if they're doing it like they are the Expedition, and the Expedition order banks truly do open up tomorrow, and that's the day we get order guides, if that same thing happens for Maverick, that's going to be a big headache come that day, because I'll be wanting to get information out to all these people, and then they're going to want to submit orders. So, you know, that's going to be the hard thing, is having 70 people trying to contact me in one morning when we get information that morning. Instead, I'd love to get information out to them so I can get those emails in, getting ready, so that on, come that day when it's ready to order, then I can just be submitting orders instead of trying to get the information out of what's changed for that model year, right? So hopefully, they did tell us the order guides would come out before the order banks opened up. That's what the brand manager told me, so I'm really hoping. I'm going to put his feet to the fire on that one. So anyway, I definitely want to get that information out to everybody. So all right, I think I might have missed a question. Okay, hopefully. I think I might have missed a question for Jaden. It's Jaden there. I see Vol says that mentions as cutoff date my 22's last week. You might have an update this evening. Okay, think I missed something there, Alan. What did I? Okay, when will I know about the change from 22 to 23 and to contact my dealer? I might have missed something before that. So throw that question in, put the @ McArthur in there so I can answer that for you. Should I start to worry about my 21 November hybrid order with only the outlet plug-in? It'll probably get pushed to 23. I mean, I'm to the point now. I think I feel pretty comfortable that if you have a November hybrid order, you're probably going to get it pushed to 23. We have 100 orders, hybrid orders still that need to be scheduled. We're only getting 20 allocations this month. So next month, I mean, I don't know how many we're going to get, but we still have a lot of Maverick orders that need to be scheduled. And we still have some 20 August and 20 September orders, 40 there that need to be scheduled. So I'm really thinking almost anything from October and November might get pushed for our orders anyway to 23. So I'd almost say if you have a November hybrid order, I could almost guarantee that you're probably going to get pushed to 23. So now, if you don't have any of the luxury and such, your order might get passed up over a bunch of others if they have those and they're not willing to change from that. So that could be something that could affect that as well. Because if I look at our hybrid orders, excuse me, if I look at the ones that are unscheduled through September, all of them have the luxury package and the Copilot 360 package. Well, all of them have the luxury. About half of them have the Copilot as well. And we have 34 of those orders. 10 of them will get scheduled this month, and we'll leave 24 to next month. And then if I look at my October orders, I have 35 October orders, and I have about a 50-50 between luxury and non-luxury. So the ones without any luxury packages are probably going to get selected. So I say if you're in October and you don't have a luxury package, that bodes well for you. Maybe you'll get scheduled next month. And then I really think, November orders, we have 30 November orders, and it's about a 50-50 split between luxury and non-luxury. So, not having it on there can help you out. So, can a customer refuse to work with a specific salesperson? They can here. So, talk to a manager. You'd rather not work with a salesperson. We'll get you a different salesperson. So, really up to the dealership on how much you want to take care of the customer. But if you're not wanting to work with a certain salesperson, you want to go over to their manager to see if you can get somebody else to help you. What should be the next step then? Should I just make new order? Yeah, if you don't get scheduled for 22, the order gets pushed to 23, but it stays in there, and you want to keep that one because you ordered back in November, so you want your order to be looked at before the new orders for 23. So just like with our Bronco orders, we can see which of our initial 21 model year Bronco orders were ordered first because they are all dated 10/8. And we can see that the order banks opened up 10/15. So all of the ones that were new orders were started to order in the 15th of October of last year. So Maverick should be the same way. There should be a date that all those are going to be given, and so you'll want your order to be ahead of that. So if I were you, I'd stay where you're at with that order and just let it get pushed to 23. You should be up first and be looked at before any new 23 orders. Is it true that there is a wheel shortage on the F-150 trimmer? Hadn't heard that. It wasn't in our constraint items, so I don't know. It could be because there was also something that I heard today that I didn't know about the battery hold at the plant that I didn't know about. Somebody else found out on social media, and then they let me know. So that's quite possible here too. All right, NASA. Is Ford doing the Ford options program for the Lightnings? And could I expect any markdowns using the A plan if my father works for Ford? From what I understand, A plan, D plan is AZ and D plan are plan pricing, but not X plan on the Lightning. The Ford options, I don't know a lot about the Ford options. It's supposed to be sort of like a lease. I've looked at that and I haven't seen where it's a big savings there, because I haven't seen any special rates for Ford options, but it's supposed to be like more of an extended lease. But instead of being like a 2-year, 3-year lease, it's like a 3-4-year lease from what I understand kind of thing. So it's more of an options. So you do it that long, and then at that point you have the option to purchase it or not. So not exactly sure there. So Melissa, thanks for the $10 donations. Thank you for all the help from these live streams and for answering my dad's Roberto's questions via email. No problem. So yep, I just remember that I got that email earlier today. So appreciate that. Are you thinking October hybrid, Lux, and Copilot will be 23? I think so. I wish I could say differently, but I don't know. It's really hard to tell. They will be scheduling in July for 2 months, though. They will be scheduling for September as well as part of October. So that could bode well. So there could be, maybe more scheduled then. And then once they get through the plant, having to close the plant for maintenance, that could help too. So maybe be totally up to speed and be able to do, 10,000 units in September. And that could totally change my thought on that. But as of right now, not knowing what that looks like, and only getting 20 allocations for us this month, I mean, if I were to get like 80 allocations or 90 or 100 allocations next month, I may be totally different mindset on that. But right now, I'm just a little nervous for a lot of those orders that's still sitting there. So, does Ford ship the free accessory pack to the dealership or the customer after we receive our Mavericks? And how long does it take to ship? All right, the free accessory pack to the dealership, or the free accessory pack goes to the dealership that ordered the vehicle. I think on ours, where we had some that were drop shipped, I believe those were sent to us, not to the delivering dealer, if I remember right. So they are not given to the customer. They are shipped they're basically like a DIO, dealer installed option. So the box will be shipped when the vehicle goes out. That accessory kit, fit kit, will be shipped to the dealership, and it'll arrive at the dealership before your vehicle gets to the dealership. That answers that question. So Dan said, when will the 22 Bronco Sport production switch over to 23? When might my order get switched? From what I understand, I don't know if we were given a date on the Bronco Sport, but I thought I saw something about early August. So probably next month scheduling. If you don't schedule by the end of next month, then in July, more than likely you'll know if your order is going to get pushed to 23. Similar to the Maverick, probably. How long after you have a VIN should be built? It's hard to tell. You get a VIN when you're scheduled for a build week, and so sometimes you're scheduled 2 months out and you keep getting pushed, so it's really hard to tell. So it's more likely you want to look for that build date and see that's what you want to look at versus when you get scheduled. So they keep pushing my trimmer back, and that is what my dealer told me. That is a possibility, because I have seen that some of these orders are getting pushed back for certain reasons, like on the Maverick hybrids, they're getting pushed back because there is a battery hold. And they're having issues with those. So there's probably something within that trimmer package, and that's why it keeps getting pushed back, because a lot of the F-150s aren't getting moved back. And so for that one to keep getting moved back, there probably is something within that trimmer package, whether it be the suspension or the wheel. He's probably right. There's something within that trimmer package that's probably a part delay, and that's why it's getting pushed back. So, man, a lot of questions tonight. It's 8:40. You guys keep me on here. All right. I do appreciate all the donations. It's really awesome. Appreciate it. Not needed, but I do appreciate it. If you want your comment viewed, if I'm missing a comment or something, do $1. Something like that. I'm sorry. I should catch you. If you hit that @McArthur, all one word, I will find your question. I'll make sure we get it. Or throw it in there a couple times if I missed it. So, any other question? All right, so Cuz said, I received my vehicle in May. The dealer never gave me the fits kit. I guess I need to call them tomorrow. Yeah, it would be in their parts department. Yeah, that's where that would be. So that's where ours come. I actually have a picture of the boxes. One point we had like 3 stacks wide that was like as tall as me up, because we had all these hybrids coming in. Now it's like down to just a couple boxes because we don't have a lot coming in right now. But yeah, they will be delivered to the dealership ahead of time. Someone in parts will have it. It'll have a box. It'll have the VIN number on the mailing address to the dealership. So it'll attach, that VIN should match up with your VIN. So you might want to call them and give them your VIN and say, it is somewhere in your parts department. Please go find it. Have your salesperson go get it for you. Has everybody been getting their Ford Pass points for their new vehicles? Been waiting for 3 weeks. You might check. I did see this happen. It happened here because I didn't say anything when I did my paperwork, but when I did my paperwork, instead of giving me the points, they gave me 2 free oil changes on our server. They made a maintenance plan for us. So you might want to make sure that your dealership didn't maybe do the same thing. And when you signed your paperwork, you did a maintenance plan instead of the Ford Pass points. I was going to use them for service anyway, so I was okay with that. It didn't bother me. But I know my Bronco, I didn't see any points added to my Ford Pass account, and so when I checked, looks like what and I'm sure they said it because I signed it. But I think what they did is they had me do they took the points and put it towards a maintenance plan, because it is like enough points for two oil changes and a tire rotation and such like that, and so that's what they did for me. You might check with your dealership and see if that's what they did. Or you can also call Ford Pass. My daughter figured this out, and she's the one that actually told me. So I can't remember where it's at. I think if you go to your Ford Pass app and go into the back of it, into the settings or the support, you can go in there and actually take you to your Ford Pass. You can get a hold of somebody on the phone, and they can actually look it up and tell you where your points went. So try that. I asked my dealer to make my order priority 2. They can't do that. Said they try, but I should call Ford myself and raise my issue with them. Does this make sense? No, the only people that can move an order to priority 2 is the region. So the dealership can't do that. Calling Ford support won't get it done either. What they're going to do is a lot of times it's based on time. If you look at all of our orders, when I look at our priority 2 orders, every order for us from October earlier, so June, July, August, September, October orders that are hybrids, all are priority 2 for us. Our 10s are our November orders. And if I look at our EcoBoost, our priority 2s are through December 15th. So if you have an EcoBoost sometime in that date, then you should be in priority 2 as well. If you're outside that date, you're probably just going to have to wait, and that's just kind of how that's going to work there. Michael said, chances the 23 or 24 Lightning comes in Pro with extended battery. Probably won't change too much on 23. I'd assume that you would need to be a fleet dealer to get the extended battery on the Pro version. So I don't see that changing. Maybe 24. But again, it's speculation, and I'm not very good at predicting what Ford's going to do. All right. So preface, yeah. Did I miss a question from Kirk? Yeah, there we go. Looking for some info on Ranger scheduling, please. They are not scheduled. They are not scheduling Ranger this week. Were they scheduling Ranger for this month? Here, I can't remember because I think Ranger may not be scheduling this. Oh wait, it is scheduling this month. That's right. But they are not scheduling this week. But they are scheduling this month. In fact, they're going to do some sand additions on top of normal production as well this month. Should I get points for the Maverick purchase? You should have, yes. Yep. Every purchase you get points. We should have used your Ford Pass. In fact, we're required to do that 100% of the time, and we're usually pretty good on that. And we try to keep 100% on that, making sure we're supposed to, when we pull the Smart Vincent on getting a vehicle, we put your Ford Pass account information in there, your ID, and so I know that was probably done. So you might want to look and make sure you got your points in your Ford Pass. Contact them. If you didn't get your points, contact us, because they can, at the dealership, they can switch that over to giving you points instead of giving you, like in my case, they gave me a service deal instead, a complimentary service plan instead of the points. So I did that way. Wasn't something I intend to do, but it is okay because that's what I was probably going to use the points for anyway. But you might check with Ford Pass, and we can look it up, or your finance manager should be able to help you. And if you're struggling there, Rebecca here at the dealership can help you with that. Only for people that ordered from us, got a vehicle from us. I have to preface that. I don't need Rebecca getting a bunch of phone calls from people at other dealerships checking on their Ford Pass points. I need to make sure that I make that clear. Fully aware it is a regional push for Priority 2. I was more concerned with the try calling Ford customer care, as they don't necessarily listen to us. Yeah. So yeah, I don't Jason, I don't think it's worth a call. That they really, all they're able to do is look things up and see things. They are not able to make any impact, really. All right. So Brady said I had to reorder my Bronco back in November. I ordered Sasquatch, hardtop, and MT. Yeah, should I expect to be pushed back to 23? Well, at this point in time, if you have a Sasquatch package, you're not going to get scheduled. So there is a hold, there is a part hold on the wheels. So they are, right now, if you have a Sasquatch package, whether it be a Wild Track or any of the others with a Sasquatch, they will not get scheduled right now for this month. So I could tell you that right now. So there is a possibility it could get pushed to 23 if they don't start getting those wheels in stock. Right in front of your, yeah. Put the Atlaw McArthur. I'm in Tucson. No real need for luxury package on anything. Don't need heated seats. Do you think your allocations for non-luxury packages be low since you're in Kansas? Possibly, but I will say this: we have orders from all over the country, not just in Kansas. Oh well, I see what you're saying there, because if we're in the Midwest, that maybe that this region is getting luxury packages. Or maybe you would think we would get more luxury packages than maybe California or Arizona or some places. It's a good theory, Ricky. Rick and Kelly, sorry, not Ricky. Blanca said, thanks for everything, no problem. All right, any other questions? This might be the longest stream we've had so far. Don't forget, before you duck out, smash that like button for me. I appreciate it. And don't forget, if you're not subscribed, you know what to do down there. You guys see it? Don't forget to subscribe if you want to. So, and you know, if you do I don't know if you want to look at the membership. I don't want to push the membership on anybody. I mean, the membership really isn't a revenue source for me. It's more of a way of being able to engage more with select few people that want to engage with me. But there are some pretty cool membership perks that I think some of you, especially if you're looking to order a vehicle, you might want to check out, might look at. I'm not going to tell you what it is here. You're going to have to go and check it out. Hit that join and look at those. There's some different cool little perks. I give away, you know, when you first become a member, I give you a notebook, as well as something at 3 months and at 6 months, as well as there's a special type of ownership delivery experience as well in there. If you're wanting something like that and you want to get a vehicle from us, you might check that out. Might be something you might be interested in. Again, it's just a way to just saying more engaged into those that want to learn a little bit more about me, about the dealership, the backgrounds, that kind of thing, and just a fun way to stay connected to them. Kind of call, you know, really instead of the Long McArthur or Long Mac crew, shouldn't really call it the Long Mac family, because that's kind of what I feel. So anyway, all right. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and send those to the fordvideoguy@gmail.com. I'll try to answer those. I'm pretty caught up on questions actually right now. I only have I have a few questions here. I only have I only got like 13 in here. So yeah, so I'm pretty caught up on that, trying to do that every day. So, you know, throw those questions in there. Should be able to answer those questions if you have any other questions. Ford safeguards to prevent dealers from rearranging lightning reservations. You know, what I'd like to see is, you know, there was a lot of when those orders, reservations were in, where dealers could prioritize those orders. I didn't like that. I didn't like that they prioritized. I mean, I reserved right away when that opened up. The reveal happened. I reserved. I got in there. You know, we didn't have to prioritize one of my orders, because I was one of the first ones that went ahead and punched the button, because on the Bronco I didn't do that, and because of that I was delayed in not being able to get that order in. So I wanted to do that, just because if I want a Lightning, hey, I might want to get that, because I've kind of been a fan of the EV for a while. In fact, I almost got a Focus full electric when we got a used one here. Almost did that, but I didn't at the time. But so I was kind of in on that, so it was not a big thing. But yeah, seeing people being able to prioritize that, I'd like to almost see that, you know, be adjusted for 23. But I don't think it's going to. I think those orders, those are in there, and those are locked in, I believe, in the orders they are. Do not see a join button on my screen. If you're on a tablet, from what I understand, it doesn't work. So you might look on your phone, go to one of our videos, or go to, there's a link in the description. Check out that, click on that link, and it'll take you to our YouTube channel. And at that point, it'll be right up there at the top, right below the banner. You'll see it over there on the right-hand corner underneath our banner. Check that link out, and you can find it that way. But I did find out last week someone was struggling with it, and they couldn't find it on their iPad. So they had to pull it up on their phone or their desktop. So you might try that, and it might be easier for you to find. So. All right. Can you please check my question above? Oh, yeah. I missed it. All right. Oh, I see it. Okay. When are the Lightning 23 invitations are to come out? Any guess on overall production numbers? Farley has said. Don't yet. They said they'd have more information this summer. So I really don't know there. So other than that information, we really don't have any information. So I assume probably we'll find out more in July, August would be my thinking there. But it'll probably go out in waves, just like it did for 22. We'll start seeing, you know, those wave invites going out based on your time frame. and then probably every month we'll get so many allocations, so at least we'll know how many invites we're going to be receiving each month, kind of like we do with production numbers. Like this month we get 20 allocations for Maverick, and then when those hit, we'll probably know how many invites are going to be sent out for our customers that have invites. But probably July, August before we get any information on that. Yeah, so anyway, and thanks. Well, look, I am on iPad. Yeah, so yeah, I found out iPad. Not necessarily iPad. I think any tablet, to be honest. But all right. Any other questions? Send those to the fordvideoguy@gmail. But I am going to kind of duck out, so don't forget if you're not subscribed yet, to go ahead and do that. Smash that like button before you leave. I'd appreciate it. And don't forget, we will be answering questions live on Facebook Thursday night. That's at 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. So you can check that out. Link is down in the description for that as well. And until then, or until next week, we'll see you guys later. Hopefully you have a great day. And if you're looking for information on the 23 Expedition, as soon as I get order guides, we'll be pumping out videos on that as well. So be looking for those this week too. So again, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.